Hey everyone, welcome to Movie Watch. I'm your watcher Steve, and today I will be giving you my breakdown and review of Meg 2: The Trench. So let's get started. Meg 2 is directed by Ben Wheatley and stars Jason Statham, who returns as Jonas Taylor, a veteran diver who specializes in deep sea search and rescue. Alongside him is Shia Sophia Kai as Mei Ying Zhang, Jonas's stepdaughter, as well as Wu Jing as Juming Zhang, Mei Ying's uncle, and Cliff Curtis as Mac, the Manor One's operation manager. The film is based on The Trench, a 1999 novel by Steve Alten, and is the sequel to the 2018 movie The Meg. Just like the previous film, it follows a group of scientists who must outrun, or in their case outswim, giant man-eating megalodons. The events of the film take place 5 years after the original, and we find Jonas fighting environmental crimes in his spare time, while also working at Manor One, where they are continuing to explore the Mariana Trench, where the megalodons were found in the previous movie. You know, because that makes total sense. If I went down to one of the deepest parts of the ocean and had to run for my life from giant sharks, the first thing I'd want to do once I was safe was go back down. We never learn in these movies, do we? Anyway, continuing on, we discover that Su-Yin Zhang, Jonas's love interest from the previous film, has died, and that Jonas is raising her teenage daughter, Mei Ying, with the help of her uncle, Zhu Ming, who now also oversees his family's company, alongside a woman by the name of Hilary Driscoll. Jonas and Zhu Ming lead a routine submersible exploration to the trench, and Mei Ying stows away so she can see what it's like down there for the first time. While on their way down, Hai Ki, a Meg pup the scientists have been studying in captivity, escapes and chases the team down into the trench, where she mates with two much larger male Megs. While trying to escape the Megs, after their equipment fails them, the team discover an illegal mining operation in a station captained by a mercenary by the name of Montez, who just so happens to have it out for Jonas as he had him imprisoned. So, with the subs damaged, Mac and the remaining team at the surface get ready to lead a recovery mission, only to find that their rescue pod has been sabotaged. Because they're not that smart and only have one rescue sub, this forces Jonas and his group to use exosuits to venture out into the deep themselves and walk along the ocean floor to the illegal station at the bottom of the trench. Eventually, part of their team makes it to the station, but unfortunately many are killed by the deadly creatures they run into along the way. We later discover that Montez and his crew were hired by Zhu Ming's business partner, Hilary Driscoll, so that she could acquire rare minerals that would make her billions, and that Jess, one of the team on the surface, is her accomplice and is the person who sabotaged the rescue sub. Eventually, after hijacking Montez's sub, Jonas and the rest of the gang make it up to the surface. Unfortunately though, due to an earlier explosion creating a tear in the thermocline layer, they are followed up by multiple Megs and other deep-sea creatures, including some kind of lizard creatures and a giant octopus or squid. Hilary brings in mercenaries to take down Jonas and his crew, but the Megs and other creatures get in the way and most of them get wiped out. The group somehow manages to escape the creatures and head for a nearby resort called Fun Island, which is full of drunk swimmers. Eventually, one of the Megs fights the giant squid and kills it, and after some fun with a jet ski, a few homemade exploding harpoons, and some fertilizer, Jonas and his friends manage to kill the Megs and the lizard creatures. Other than Hai Ki, the trained pup, who may now be pregnant, she swims off into the sunset, hunting down a pod of dolphins. What a happy ending. I'll start off by answering the big question. Is this movie better than the first one? And the answer to that is no. But it's not a bad sequel. I think they managed to raise the stakes for this one, which is something you always want in a sequel, especially one of this nature. But I don't think I agree with all their choices. I liked how they included the giant squid. I thought it was a good addition. However, I didn't really care for the lizard creatures. I didn't like how they lived on the bottom of the ocean and yet had no issues at all surfacing and hunting down people on land. Don't get me wrong, I do get the need to have the land threat, but I still don't like it much. I just don't think it made sense. The other thing I also have a bit of an issue with is that we didn't really get all that much Meg action. At least, it didn't feel it anyway. For the most part, it was more of a human threat. I think really we only got 2 sequences with good Meg action. For something titled The Meg, I really would have expected to see more of them. That being said, I did really like how they included the giant squid. Again though, we only got a brief look of how powerful it was before it was taken out of the equation. Moving on to the characters, I've got to say there wasn't all that much character progression for Jonas other than I have to protect Mei Ying, which, let's be honest, he did that in the last one. As far as I could tell, I couldn't see any character progression for Mac either, although I do like his character. The introduction of Ju Ming was good. I quite liked him, although for a smart man, his character really is quite thick. Seriously, who is stupid enough to try to train a Meg? My man literally hops into the water with a little clicker with the belief that his Meg won't hurt him because they have a connection. Talk about naive. He was a good man though, and I did enjoy what he brought to it, but my favourite character has to be DJ. He's the only one with sense. He at least learned from the last movie and trained himself up, learned how to swim and got himself a gun. He's probably the only character with real progression, because Mei Ying certainly didn't. She just wanted to go down and see the big sharks and then had to survive. With all that being said, I didn't expect much progression anyway. It's not that kind of film. I know that. And I did have a good time watching it. It had some good fight sequences that were way over the top, which really is what we all want when we go to see one of these movies. The CGI was really good. I thought everything looked real and I wasn't taken out of the movie by bad special effects or anything. The story was quite good. Again, I don't expect too much for this kind of film, but it kept me entertained and I was interested in what was happening. There were moments where I worried for some of the main cast, and all in all, I came out of the movie entertained. It's not a perfect movie by any means, but it did exactly what I expected it to do. It gave me some good, over-the-top action and a laugh at how ridiculous it all was. It may not be better than the first movie, but it's definitely worth a watch. If you enjoyed the original, then you will enjoy this. But as always, like I say, go check it out for yourself. It's a perfect film if you just want to veg out and not have to think too hard. So if you've had a long, hard day at work, go see Meg 2: The Trench. But that's it from me, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.